counting on Americans to just not know the difference, and that if they stonewall this and deflect long enough, it'll just go away.
Well, Vice President Vance yesterday drew a parallel between the signal scandal and the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Let's watch that.
The same American media that covered for the Biden administration after the untimely death and the unnecessary death of 13 brave Americans is really, really interested in forcing the president of the United States to fire someone because of a signal chat. And if you think you're going to force the president of the United States to fire anybody, you've got another thing coming.
Interesting to think that the media covered for that. The media covered actually the incident pretty clearly, but the question is, should heads roll? And did the Trump administration get lucky that no one was killed as a result of the signal mess up?
Yeah, just speaking for myself, I wrote at the time about the withdrawal from Afghanistan that it was a complete shambolic mess, and that it would be a case study in military colleges and policy planning schools for years to come as a disaster. The problem, is that J.D. Vance knows exactly what he's talking about. I think one of the worst things about the vice president is that he, more than most of them, he's an intelligent man. He's being intentionally disingenuous. He knows this isn't just a signal chat. He's phrasing it that way because the truth that the Secretary of Defense spilled highly classified material that could have endangered the lives of American service people over an unsecure app to a room full of people that he wasn't even clear who was in it at the time is in fact a horrendous scandal. And yes, of course, the Secretary of Defense should go. But this administration, and in the first Trump term as well, but Vice President Vance is really kind of perfecting this method, which is to engage in whataboutism, to always point at something else, because if anyone else did anything bad ever, you can't hold Trump accountable. And the other is simply to deflect and obfuscate, and again count on that millions of Americans just won't know the difference. I mean, it's really a remarkable strategy that's really insulting to millions of Americans.
Yeah, listen, there's more on Pete Hegseth, because the Wall Street Journal reports that he also brought his wife to sensitive meetings with